So let's talk about one of the biggest disruption stories of our time. It's a story that kicks off with an idea so simple it's almost funny, and ends with a company that completely changed how we think about travel.
And that simple idea started right here, San Francisco, 2007. You got two friends who are just struggling to make rent, and their big solution involves a few inflatable beds. The real question is, how did that
Turn into this? A global platform that would completely reshape how we travel and where we stay. That's the incredible story we're going to get into.
And believe me, it was a super unlikely start. This wasn't some grand vision cooked up in a fancy boardroom. Nope, it was born from a problem we can all relate to, just not having enough cash for rent.
And what's crazy is how fast it all happened. In early 2007, you've got Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia just trying to make ends meet. Then, this massive design conference rolls in the town, and bam, every single hotel is sold out. That's when the light bulb went off. They threw 3 air mattresses in their living room, promised to make breakfast, and called it Air Bed and Breakfast. A little while later, they brought on an engineer, Nathan Bletcherchik, to build the website, and just like that, the core idea was alive.
Okay, so having an idea is one thing, but getting millions of people to actually trust staying at a total stranger's home, that is a whole other ballgame. And they solved it by using technology to build something surprisingly human: trust.
And the way they did it was pretty genius. It really came down to 3 pillars. First, you could talk directly to your host, which made the whole thing feel way more personal. Second, and this was absolutely the game changer, they created a 2-way review system. Hosts review guests, guests review hosts. That created some serious accountability. And finally, they handled all the payments securely, which took a ton of the anxiety out of the equation.
Of course, building trust wasn't just about the tech on the website. As they got bigger, they had to earn the trust of entire cities. A lot of places had real concerns about housing and safety. So a huge part of the Airbnb story became about adapting and figuring out how to work with local governments to create new rules for this brand new way to travel.
And once they really nailed that foundation of trust, well, the growth was just explosive. There's really no other word for it.
I mean, just try to wrap your head around the scale here. The company literally went from one single living room in San Francisco to millions of listings all over the globe. The difference is just staggering.
Today, you can find a listing in over 220 countries and regions. That's a global footprint that can go toe-to-toe with the biggest hotel chains out there. But here's the kicker. They did it without building a single new building. They just connected people.
And yeah, the whole thing has come a long, long way from a spare air mattress. Nowadays, you can book some of the wildest places imaginable. We're talking actual castles, treehouses, even houseboats. It completely blew up our idea of what a place to stay even means.
But the story doesn't just stop with travelers. Honestly, maybe the bigger story here is how Airbnb sparked this massive new wave of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it basically invented a whole new category of person, the host entrepreneur. All of a sudden, anyone with a spare room or an empty apartment could use what they already had to run a legit small business, right from their own home. It turned a simple asset into a real source of income.
And that ripple effect, it was huge. You had hosts learning all these new skills, from hospitality to digital marketing. And then you had entire micro-industries just popping up around them. Cleaners, professional photographers, local guides. But maybe the most important thing, it was proof. Hard proof that a simple idea, powered by smart tech, could genuinely change the world.
So when you look at the whole story, it all started with solving a super simple personal problem: how to make rent. It really makes you wonder, right? What common problem that you see every single day could be the seed for the next global idea?